Hello, everyone, and welcome to Finance 304. Happy to be with you. My name is Ronald Scott Wheeler. I go by Scott, but everything officially in the course will be Ronald. Happy to go through the syllabus for you for Finance 304, Introduction to Corporate Finance or Business Finance, however they're styling it these days. Thought I would go through the syllabus and tell you how the class is going to work. Pretty simple stuff, and I think it will be easy for everyone to understand. First off, it's an online course. We're going to have a pre-recorded lecture turned on and available to you every week on Tuesday, essentially at 6:30. That's a very key time and date of the week. So you should be very well aware of that time, because we're going to have a lot of things based upon Tuesday at 6:30. The book, I think everybody knows how to get that, The Fundamentals of Financial Management. One thing that is very important to me is that every time you email me, I want you to copy the class graduate assistant every time you email, because I am a business professional for a living. I get very busy, and you will get a much greater response time if you will copy the course graduate assistant. Also very important that you establish a good relationship, because the course graduate assistant will be grading the homework. And then obviously the quizzes that are embedded in the course shell will be automatically graded. One, we're going to do work in Microsoft Excel, nothing outrageous, but certainly work in Microsoft Excel, and you will need that to be able to complete your homework in this course. Two, you don't really need a calculator. I don't really use one other than the one on my iPhone, and it would be extremely helpful to you if you have fulfilled all of the prerequisites for this course. The one thing to just get straight right up front, if you have IT or technical issues, I'm a really bad person to contact. I run businesses for a living. I am not an IT technical support person, and so it is best if you follow the procedures and contact technical support. There is a tab that's highlighted here inside your course shell. That's who you should contact for IT support, and you can contact me if you want, but I'm going to be of little help. So if you're having issues, contact IT support, but please let me and the GA both know that you are having issues. Just don't anticipate that we will be able to help you with it much. Quite ironically, I am not the first Ronald Wheeler to be a professor at Texas A&M Commerce. My father, Ronald Wheeler, was a professor there in the 60s and the 70s, as was my mother, a professor there in the 1960s and 1970s. I graduated in the, 80, so I was schooled there mostly in the 70s, and now am the president of Daseke Inc., which is a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ, DASEKE. You can look us up if you would like, and feel free to do so. But the basic layout of this course is pretty simple. We are going to do some things that are every week we will do something. We are going to touch the very high points of corporate finance. We're not going to delve into any one subject to any great length or detail. And so it will essentially, except for the first 2 weeks where we're getting adjusted to the course, where we're going to spend a lot of time on chapter 1 in the first week. After that, it will be 1 week, 1 chapter, 1 week, 1 chapter. The lectures themselves will be pre-recorded and posted on Tuesdays at 6:30, and occasionally we may have a live lecture or two. But certainly each week you will need to read the assigned chapter. If we have live lectures, it would be nice if you attend. You don't have to, but it makes the course better if we do have a few attendees. On every other week, you're going to have a homework. And on the alternating week, you're going to have a short quiz, typically 25 questions, and that will cover 2 chapters. So 1 week you will have a homework. The next week you'll have a quiz that covers the last 2 chapters that we covered. Each of those activities, both the quiz and the homework, will be due on Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. We will not accept late work unless it is approved in advance. The reason is a lot of students want to know what the answers to the work was, and if we have to wait for people to turn in late homework, it's not really fair to the other students in the class. Furthermore, you have an entire week, 7 days, 24 hours a day with which to complete your homework or your quiz and get it submitted. And so we're going to do things, a lot of things here that I think replicate what it's like in the business world. And consistency is very important, that you're able to show up over and over and over a period of time. And likewise in the business world, in today's world, we really don't care if you do the work at 2:30 in the morning or at 2:30 in the afternoon, so long as the work is done on time and submitted on time. So much like in the business world, if you told me a minute before it was due that what I was expecting wasn't going to be here, I would be quite unhappy. In this case, I really don't want you to email me a minute before and say, hey, I need an extension. It's not very professional. So if you have an issue, if you have a medical issue, you have a work issue, you have a family issue, something that precludes you from getting in on time, that's quite fine, and we're happy to accommodate you. You just need to let us know in an appropriate and professional time and manner. Likewise, the homework and the quizzes will both be open for an entire week. So we're going to open it up on Tuesday nights at 6:31 p.m. and you can start working on it, and it will be due the following Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. You can take the quiz anytime you want. You should be able to save your work and come back at any time and begin again. It's open book. It's open whatever. You will note in most of the things that I do, I try and teach the subject matter from at least 3, if not more, angles. 1, the book. Some people are going to learn really well from just reading the book. 2, the lecture. Some people are going to learn really well from listening to the lecture, and that will help them learn better. 3rd, a lot of people are going to do better if they have some web-based resources, and we will try and make those available as we go along. And lastly, we will occasionally try and have experts that are experts in the particular subject matter of that week that will come in and make a presentation to you. Also, discussion is a very important part of the course and a very important part of your grading. When we want you to discuss the questions as appropriate each week, sometimes it will be a part of your homework, sometimes it will be the entire homework, and occasionally it may be part of your quiz grade. So discussion is very important, and we expect you to interact with other students, not just post what you think, but also interact what other students say, and let's get the information flowing and the ideas flowing and the interchange of ideas and discussion that these kinds of online learning course management can allow. And there will be a final exam that will be comprehensive and cover everything. We will not have a midterm, and I would expect that this would be 5 or 6 times larger or longer than your weekly quiz. So if you get used to your weekly quiz, and you can do that weekly quiz in 30 minutes, which I think you should be able to do, you would think that the final exam is going to take you an hour and a half. You will need to be able to restate to me via the exam that you have a full knowledge of everything. But it's pretty easy to learn it for the week, turn in the homework for the week, do the quiz for the week, and then forget it. So at the end, we're going to have to come back. You're going to have to re-show me that works. And it is going to be very heavily weighted on the final. So we'll go through the grading in just a minute. The course description is basically, we are going to go through the very basic topics that are fundamental to finance. And then we will touch on many of those, but pretty much one topic a week, so we're not going to dive into too much depth. How I know what this is not only do I have an MBA, but I have been the chief financial officer for 2 public companies, and other companies I've been chief financial officer for in multiple industries. So decades of being a chief financial officer. I'm essentially, boy, I hate to use this word, but it's really the point. I'm an expert at what I'm about to teach you, and I have been there and done that. And I always found that while we do need the great academicians and the PhDs to teach, I always loved it when I was in school and there was somebody that had actually been and done that in practice and could come teach to us from practical experience, and that's really the way that I'm going to approach it. We're going to cover some really fundamental things, what forms of business organizations, and so corporations, partnerships, LLCs, etc. We're going to talk about how to read in financial statements, not how do you put them together, not how do you assemble them, not what the gap rules are, but how do you interpret them? How do you do some analysis on those to tell you more about the businesses? How do you look at how you allocate money throughout the system? What does money actually cost? What's the appropriate return on money? All kinds of things that we're going to try and talk to you about and help you understand the fundamentals of finance. The participation in this situation is mostly going to be around the dialogue of the course in the discussion. So please be very active there, and please be as open and as creative as you can be, and we will be spending a lot of time in discussion. Look, you can read the book and take the exams and probably get most of the way to passing the course. It's set up to where you probably can't quite get there just doing that, but you can get most of the way there. So we want you to get to that A we would love for everyone to get, or that B that you would like to try to achieve. You're going to have to put in you're going to have to do the homework, the discussions, and those kinds of things. And one of the things that I like to do is as you can see, I'm having one topic 1 week. I want that to be a chewable, digestible bite of information that you can handle at one time. And so we will have a consistent series of small steps throughout the semester. And once again, I talked about the exams. There's going to be a quiz over each area, and we're not going to give make-up exams or quizzes unless you have requested it appropriately in advance. Once again, you will have an entire week for the final. We will have it open for an entire week. So you should be able to use your book, go back and hopefully remember what you did on your quizzes, because your quizzes are going to be a whole lot like what the final is going to look like, etc. Homework will be a variety of things. You may have to complete a short spreadsheet. You may just have to fill out some discussion. It will be a variety of things to keep things moving along. So I think the most important thing that you need to know is how do you get to an A? And 1,000 points would be perfect. Occasionally, we'll give some extra credit. So we actually have people that can and will get over 1,000. But each week, we will have a homework that will count 50 points and a quiz that will count 75 points the next week. Homework 50 points, quiz 75 points, and until we get to the very end, and the final exam will be worth 150 points for a total of 1,000 points. So you can see that one of the most important fundamentals of this course is consistency. So if you will read the chapter, do your homework, and fill out your discussion each week, which should be very doable because you have an entire week in which to do so, you should have no problem in understanding and completing the work in this class. So we will have something each week, and you can see the first week we're going to talk about Excel. We're going to talk about entities and hierarchy in both the first and second weeks. The first and second week, actually, we're going to spend on one chapter. So everybody has time to get into the course, get acclimated to the course, understand the way that I'm going about things. And then after that, it's one chapter a week. And these will be the chapters that we will cover with the basic topic of each week. That's pretty much the syllabus. We're going to have some statements from the university about academic integrity and plagiarism. If you have a disability and you need special formatted documents or video recordings, we're more than happy to provide that to you. So just let the appropriate people know in the Office of Student Disability Resources, and we will be glad to accommodate you. We will not tolerate plagiarism, so we are going to want a culture of honesty and integrity in this course, like we expect of you in everything in life, and particularly as representatives of our university. And frankly, in the discussion, I think it goes without saying that we absolutely believe in civility and appropriate language in our discussion items. That is it for the syllabus for this course, and I look forward to engaging with you this semester, and good luck to each and every one of you.